Um, and Mahlik is a case or a kind of a fictional character that tells a story that similar to what many people might be going through with pain. And he shows up in little bits throughout the book, but then there's this case story at the end. I think it's about 5 or 6 pages. And some of the, we had talked about what's the story about and the different elements. And this is, some of the early sketches of mapping out that case story from the different panels, the different elements of what's going on through his interaction with the therapist, what he's trying, what he's considering. And let's see, I think there's a few others, what he's communicating to someone, I think it was his brother, of what he's going through. Not only the pain and the stuff that's impacting his work, but also then what he's trying to make sense of what the therapist is suggesting him try. And it kind of tells the story of his journey. But these are some of the early sketches of us in that process of talking you through. Would this make sense? What do you think about this perspective? Does this leave enough room for the text that needs to go with it? And just to show some of the kind of down the road after multiple back and forth, some of the final images without the text of him contemplating concepts and making change at his workstation. And I don't know if this resonated with you, but part of his story was he was a young graphic designer, graphic artist, starting his own private business and having trouble with pain getting in the way of that role, that job, that career, and seeking help for that and making sense of what's going on as he's exploring that journey. Did that hit home for you, or is that just a side coincidence?
It hit home, like really hit home. Like now seeing the first page, I kind of want to sit up straight now because I kind of feel bad about like drawing, like doing sequential art for something to do right, and I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I really resonated with his story, like how to properly take care of yourself while working and like avoiding the bad stuff, like junk foods and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think you were. I remember you saying, okay, well, in this picture here, this is early interactions, early part of the process. He's got this junk food next to him, and then I think if I show one of the last panels where he's back to stuff he loves, and final interactions with the therapist, but look at his desk setup is a lot cleaner. Maybe junk food is gone. He's making other choices that are healthy for his lifestyle and well-being. Let me share what it looks like for like final pages. This is actually the final page proofs for the book. And you can see how, the text will add something to it, like particularly these ones where you can tell he's contemplating something, but okay, what is it that he's thinking about? And like, for instance, this one where he's making sense of all the things that are impacting his life and his experience and what's making things worse, what's making things better, and considering what are all those elements balancing that experience for him. That wouldn't make as much sense with just your drawing, but the text adds to that. But you can see here, like, okay, he's having a setback and he's not doing as well. Like clearly the way you drew this expresses that experience, that the distress, the frustration, or the feeling down because he had a setback, and how he's been making progress and then had this slide backwards. I think it just really powerful for telling a journey through this. Now, to be fair, Mahlik is not a real person that I've ever met, but he represents a lot of circumstances that I've tried to help people through when I do my job as a physical therapist. So there's a lot of reality in that story that I thought would express themes from the book, but then your artwork just like, man, it makes it so much more engaging than if I tried to write a case that had just text.
Thank you. Like for that, like I really wanted to show some I mean, like subtle stuff too. Like,
oh yeah, tell me
like,
which one I can pull it back up.
so kind of like just like as how the story progresses, like from the first page, I kind of want to like make it a little bit gloomy, for like the colors, like how he wasn't doing the proper way of working, or like sitting, then and wearing like kind of like not so colored, nicely clothes. Then kind of like I mentioned this to you, like then towards the end, like he's wearing like some more warmer, more welcoming colors.
Mm-hmm.
Then we talked about the concept about the guard dogs, like the corresponding colors. That was pretty cool working with you on that too.
Yeah. Particularly like this second panel, you can see he has a dog that's around in his life frequently. And here you see that a metaphor that's in the book that you also illustrated, that this idea of a part of our body of how it looks after us, how alert it is, how acting like a guard dog looking after us, from high level of alert on stress mode to lower level. And we color coded that, as you can see here. Also appears, I like how you brought it back in this. He had a flare up, and then suddenly behind him is this poster of the red high alert guard dog. And then later on, when he's doing better in this final panel, there's the green, calm, resting guard dog again. I love that. And like you said, a little subtle theme of kind of the color. You notice his clothing color is along those lines as well.
Yeah, like when he's wearing like more red, orange colors. And then like you notice that page 3, like he's doing like the exercises where there's green where he's feeling better, but there's a little bit of red in there as well where he's not better yet.
Yeah.
And blue yellow kind of thing.
I like that. Yeah, it's green because he's actively doing something that's theoretically helping him, but there's a little red in there too because he's trying something new, not sure how it's going to go, and his body's reacting like being on high alert or a little bit of alert as he explores that.